Ownership and its kinds. Ownership. In law, ownership refers to the legal rights a person or organization has over an object, property, or asset. The owner has a set of rights that allow them to use, enjoy, alter, modify, and even prevent others from using the property. Ownership is an important concept in real estate law that defines the relationship between a person or organization and its property within the scope of the law. It determines the limits of control and liability of property and is often associated with the concept of legal ownership and beneficial ownership in property. Ownership is the basis of law, providing a framework for property rights, exchange, and social conflict. Definitions of ownership. John Locke. Ownership is the natural right of an individual to exercise control over tangible and intangible property acquired through labor or mutual consent, ensuring the protection of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Roscoe Pound. Ownership is the relation between a person and a material object forming part of his environment, with respect to which he has certain rights and duties. Black's Law Dictionary. Ownership is the complete bundle of legal rights that an individual or entity holds in relation to property, encompassing the right to use, possess, enjoy, dispose of, and exclude others from the property. Cornell Law Dictionary. Ownership refers to the legal right of possessing and controlling a property, entailing the ability to use, transfer, and exclude others from the property. Merriam-Webster's Dictionary of Law. Ownership is the right to possess and control property, including the right to use, enjoy, and transfer it. Professor William Blackstone. Ownership is that sole and despotic dominion which one man claims and exercises over the external things of the world, in total exclusion of the right of any other individual in the universe. Halsbury's Laws of England. Ownership is the fullest right known to the law by which a person has the lawful control over the general use, disposition, and enjoyment of a thing. Types of ownership. Property comes in different types. Each of these defines the extent of control and rights a person or organization has over a property. These types of ownerships are important in determining the relationships, responsibilities, and legal systems under which assets are managed. The details of the different ownership types are as under. 1. Private ownership. This form of ownership is characterized by one person having complete and exclusive control of the property. The owner can use, modify, or replace the product according to his own needs. It provides the owner with autonomy and decision-making rights. 2. Co-ownership. Co-ownership consists of two or more people sharing ownership of a property. There are different types of joint ownership. 3. Joint tenancy. Owners have equal ownership, and if one owner dies, their interest is transferred to the surviving owner. 4. Tenancy in common. Owners may own equal shares, and if one owner dies, his shares go to his heirs, not necessarily to the other owner. 5. Tenancy in general. Especially for married couples, this type of ownership includes rights of survivorship. 6. Community property. As seen in some jurisdictions, community property applies to property acquired during marriage. Both spouses have equal rights, and in case of divorce or death, each spouse is entitled to half of the joint property. 7. Business ownership. Businesses join as members through business membership. Shareholders are the owners of the company who represent ownership of the company's assets, which can include real estate, equipment, and more. 8. Public property. Public property means property owned by the government or public organization for service purposes. These things, such as parks, government buildings, and infrastructure, are available to all members of society. 9. Private property, a type of professional, leasehold title granted to a person, business, or organization specifically for property. The owner can control the use, sale, and transfer of the property within the limits of the law. 10. Personal property. This type includes ownership of personal property such as electronic devices, cars, and furniture. The owner is free to use, sell, or transfer the product. 11. Property ownership. Ownership includes properties such as land and buildings. The owner controls the land and its structure, including the right to build, rent, or sell. 12. Intellectual property. Intellectual property rights refer to intangible assets such as patents, copyrights, and trademarks. Owners have exclusive rights over their creativity and innovation so that they can benefit from these creations. 13. Collective ownership. In this form, it is an ownership group. It is usually found in communal spaces, cooperatives, or joint ventures where decisions regarding ownership are made together. 14. Leasehold. A lease gives the tenant the right to use the property for a specified period, even if the tenant is not the current owner. The tenant pays the rent owner's fee for use without the need for ownership to change hands. Conclusion. In summary, property is an important concept that connects philosophy and law, and gives individuals and organizations the right to control and manage things. From the insightful views of the best thinkers to the basic concepts in legal translations, the meaning of ownership is the ability to use, benefit from, modify, and separate other property. A similar network of rules, shaped by different legal models and philosophies, supports social patterns, economic interactions, and the fabric of life of the same people. Ownership, whether an extension of natural or legal rights, continues to define our relationship with the valuable and intangible things that make up our world.